Well, James Gunn just officially saved the DC universe. Last night I got the chance to watch Superman and I really liked it, and I really wish everyone else would just go see this movie, honestly. I really wish I could just end my review there, but there are some things I do want to talk about. DC has had some rough times when it comes to superhero movies. Honestly, me talking about the whole movies and the extended universe, I could go on for hours. The old DC movies were very ambitious, mainly most of them being directed by Zack Snyder, who is not really a good director, and I don't really know how to this day he ever got his fame. He barely understands Batman. Like, this man should have never been in charge of anything. So I could go on, but to sum it all up, Zack Snyder fucking sucks, and he's a talentless hack. James Gunn is more of a Giga Chad. He actually knows what he's doing. He has experience. Oh, there's my cat. James Gunn actually has experience, and he knows what he's doing, and thankfully he's in charge of this universe now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I really can't wait to see what comes next for this new universe. It's also kind of funny because, like, most of the time I'm more excited for Marvel movies, but they haven't really been exciting me that much and really been that impressive. But here comes DC now. I'm actually excited for what DC's universe is going to be like. So, the movie. James Gunn decided to do things a little bit different when it comes to this movie. This is the start of a new universe and somewhat a semi-origin story to Superman. The movie starts off with Superman already being an established superhero. He's averagely seasoned, that's one way to put it, and we really don't get to see too much of his origin. Like, you kind of have to pick up those pieces as the movie goes on, and to some people they may not like that, and to some they do. It's kind of getting to the point where a lot of people probably know the basics of Superman's origin. Same thing with Spider-Man. We really don't need to have Spider-Man's origin explained every time there's a new, like, series of movies, especially if there was a Spider-Man movie that came out not that long ago. More than likely, comic book fans are gonna see all comic book movies. So yeah, things were different when it came to this Superman origin story. A lot of things were already established, like Lex Luthor already being an asshole to Superman, Clark already having a somewhat relationship with Lois, he's already working at the Daily Planet, and there's already some familiar faces from the comic book movies. And really, this movie is to really establish what kind of hero Superman is. The story is really good. Honestly, this is such a weird thing to say, but like, it's been such a long time since I actually got goosebumps watching a superhero movie. And I know Superman is supposed to be this awesome hero that can just do almost anything, but my god, in this film, Superman was just amazing. And a lot of people who are big fans of comic books says that this was very close to what the comics are like. They're really fun, they're really exciting, entertaining, and just fun. And yeah, I agree, this story was just really fun overall. I actually got goosebumps, and there were some moments that was just really well done. Like, hell, by the end of the movie, I was even full of hope. Like, damn. Even in this story, we got other characters like Green Lanterns, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. And one thing I want to say that I've been enjoying about modern superhero movies that's been coming out lately, I really just like that these movies are just giving the spotlight to, like, superheroes that we just have not seen a lot of. Like, for example, the Batman main villain was the Riddler, and most people will probably think of the Riddler as this, like, funny, cheeky guy who just tells riddles, but it wanted to do something very dark with this character, and I really fucking like that. Same with Spider-Verse, they had the Polka Dot Man as, like, the main villain. I just like seeing these new villains because comic books have lots of villains, and there's never that many times where, like, the villains get a lot of spotlight, because it's always like they're one and done, and it's always the big ones like the Joker or Green Goblin. So yeah, thankfully this movie had some good diversity. They even planted seeds of who's to come next in this new universe with new superheroes. The big man, Superman himself, is played by David Corenswet, and honestly, I think he did a really good job with his role. There was times where he felt a little bit awkward and shy, but I don't know if that's because that was Superman's character. One thing to know, I don't really know too much about Superman. I really only know the basics. I've watched a few animated films about him, but from what I can say, I think he did a really good job. Honestly, he is a really good Superman. I'll talk about Snyder fans, honestly, in their own section later. Lois Lane is played by Rachel Brosnahan. I don't even know how to say that, but I recognized her from The Amateur. She also did a really good job with her character as well. There wasn't too much to go with Lois. I will say she definitely got herself into some sticky situations, but she managed to get out of it. She definitely felt like a real character, because I do know it's easy for some of these movies to make like the female love interest to be like so one-dimensional, but Lois is actually a really interesting character. She actually feels like a partner to Superman, like she actually supports him. So yeah, she did a really good job. Lex Luthor is played by Dan Henshaw, and honestly, I'm just really happy to see that he actually got this role. I'm so happy that DC decided to give this role to an actual YouTuber or entertainer. All the years of him screaming in his car finally did pay off. He just did a really good job as Lex Luthor. I really believed him to be Lex Luthor, honestly. He was goofy at times. There was times where he was like cartoonishly evil, but from what I was told, that apparently is Lex Luthor. He is literally Superman's #1 hater, a natural wake up every day and start hating on Superman type of guy. Green Lantern was played by Nathan Fillion. Okay. Lex Luthor was actually played by Nicholas Hoult, and still, he did a good job, honestly. Like I said before, all the things did apply, except he wasn't screaming in his car. But back to Green Lantern, honestly, what do I have to say about Nathan Fillion? He is honestly just the GOAT. Like, if you recognize his voice from any franchise he's in, I promise. So yeah, he did a really good job. He was really funny, and I liked the way he just did what he wanted to do and did not give a shit. Hawk Girl was played by Isabella Merced, who was Dora from the live-action Dora movie, and yeah, she was also in Madam Web. But regardless of her past roles, she really did a good job in this one. I really liked the scene where she had that one guy take a little dip on the ground. And yeah, honestly, I'm just looking forward to what she can do in the future, because yeah, she was really cool, as well as Mr. Terrific, played by Eli G, who was, I recognize him from the Twilight, but still, he did a really good job at his role as well. He was really funny, really entertaining. I liked how he was kind of like a pseudo Batman with a certain thing he did to the other superheroes. I don't want to say too much, but you'll see when you see the movie, if you read a lot of comic books and know a lot of other comic book stories. Everyone else, honestly, they did a really good job. Nothing really stood out past what I really want to talk about. There was a lot of action in this movie. Superman kicked a lot of ass. He also got his ass kicked a bunch. There was times where Lex Luthor kind of treated beating Superman up kind of like a video game in a way. Thankfully, the scenes where Superman was fighting a bunch of monsters and big aliens actually took place in the day, to where we could actually see it and not like have to hide everything in the darkness, because we can't really animate that well. I'm looking at you, Zack Snyder. Yeah, the action was fun, and it was in daylight, and I'm so happy for that, honestly. It's such a breath of fresh air when I can just see the fucking action. Like, this is supposed to be a comic book movie. It's supposed to be fun, not supposed to be some fucking, like, I don't even know what the fuck to describe the old superhero movies that just kept shit in the fucking dark. Honestly, this, like, if you can't animate it that well and you can't make it look good, then maybe you shouldn't just make it. I don't know, man. That's just me. There wasn't, like, too many set pieces. You know, it had the typical, like, New York City. I will say the people in the city definitely felt like New Yorkers type of ish. I don't really know if, like, Superman's hometown is in something like New York. I don't really know for sure. But regardless, the city was a city, and the people definitely represented that city really well. There was like some actual things you got to learn about some of the characters in the city. It wasn't like too much or too deep, but there are some good like developments with a certain character. The first half of the movie didn't really have like a lot of cool camera shots. There is one thing I want to talk about with the whole like the face being at the front of the camera, where it's like the characters looking at the audience. They did that in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as well as Black Adam. You know what I mean? Where like the character just like their face is just all up in the theater screen. It's very cringe, and I really wish people would stop doing that, honestly. They did that in Superman like 3 times, honestly. It was kind of cringe, and that was mainly in the first half of the film, but then in the second half they realized, oh, we can have fun with this movie, and then they started doing all these cool camera shots and like camera like transition. It was actually really cool, and like I mentioned before, it really added to the whole aspect of this movie being fun. It actually felt like a comic book movie the way the camera worked in this. So yeah, good on them. I really enjoyed the music. They had this leitmotif that repeated throughout every track, or at least most of them, and it's just so cool. The one they played when Superman had to go to his parents for a minute, it was just so cool. It's really just epic, and they played it in the trailer, and like it really just fills you with like inspiration and hope and everything like that. So now I want to start talking about the last few big things, and they're pretty big, honestly. But one thing I do want to say also, like, animation was pretty fine. I mentioned it somewhat earlier with the whole lighting, like, the movie is actually in the daytime, we get to see everything. Editing and all that, and animation was pretty well done, honestly. There's a scene where Superman punches someone, and this is even in the trailer, he punches someone and, like, their teeth gets knocked against the camera lens. That's pretty fun. There's even this moment where, like, Superman flies up and then flies all the way down. That was really fun. And then there's also just so many other moments where Superman just appears out of a smoky clouds and all that, and he just looks so badass. But the next thing is its theme, its messages it's wanted to tell, and man, people apparently really don't like Superman for being a nice, kind-hearted person. Now, I've already decided I will be making a separate video on this discussion because I really don't want to get into, like, too much shit about modern-day politics when it comes to Superman. All I will say is, like, just like what Nathan Fillion said, like, holy fucking shit, some of you motherfuckers just need a hug. My God, I cannot believe we are in a day and age where people are mad at Superman for being fucking Superman. My God, it's so fucking sad and pathetic, and these people are just so miserable and insufferable. That's the best way I can describe this shit. It's just so sad. Like, holy fucking shit, man. Again, it's so sad. Like, I cannot exaggerate that enough. Like, I don't want to get too, like, worked up about this, and like I said, I will make a separate video, but Superman is fucking Superman. He's gonna do what Superman does. He is a nice person, a kind person. He saves everyone. He saved the fucking squirrels. He's gonna save humans as much as he humanly can. He's gonna mess up, and he's gonna have days and times where he doesn't fully succeed, but in the end, as long as he has the hope and desire to win, he will. Superman will literally do whatever it physically takes to win the day. I promise you. But for a certain, and you know who, a certain group of people online, a certain side of the political spectrum, they just apparently do not like that. And you know what? Fuck them. These people are fucking pathetic. Superman is supposed to represent, like, hope and human kindness and all that. He is going to stand up against, like, people who are overthrowing certain groups of people who can't defend themselves, who are super vulnerable or super poor. That is who Superman is. And if you don't like that, then why the fuck did you watch a Superman movie, dumbass? Anyway, one little quick thing I wanted to throw in post is I'm always the type of person that wants to be like, oh, everyone's opinion is their own. You shouldn't get too worked up. But if you're going to go to a movie knowing that you're not going to like it, then why the fuck did you go and watch it in the first place? People on that side of politics knew what the fuck they were going to get into when they wanted to watch a Superman movie. If anything, it really just shows that you just hate it when a nice person does nice things for people who are not as fortunate as you. You must really love dictators, man. I don't know. But seriously, fuck these people. Who cares about their opinions? They are not even going to like the movie regardless. I know I say everyone's opinions is important and their own, but seriously, not these people. Do not take their opinions seriously at all. Another group of people that didn't like this movie was the Snyder fans, and my God, it's pathetic. It's pathetic in a different way where it's more funnier than sad. I cannot believe these people still exist, especially on Twitter and Facebook. These people will never get it. These people genuinely believe Zack Snyder is like a god sent to us to make the best films in the world, even though he has never made a good fucking film. Not ever. Not once. Even with his new Rebel Moon series, it is just laughably, painfully awful. And then the funniest thing is they claim that he just created every single trope in modern day cinema, and it's like, okay, Zack Snyder apparently invented superhuman powered or superpowered beings flying and fighting in spaces. Like, come the fuck on, man. But yeah, these people will never like the new Superman movie that's coming out. They will hate it no matter what, and they claim that everyone who did like the movie is a paid shill or a paid actor. I wish I could get paid to post these reviews on YouTube, but I don't. Yeah, and I like the film, and it fucking blows Zack Snyder's bullshit out of the water. So yeah, Zack Snyder fans, holy fuck, wake up. Like, Zack Snyder is not going to be in charge of these movies. I hope not. Like, for the foreseeable future. I don't want to say anything because literally anything could happen. But it's like what other people are saying. Even if James Gunn's movies fails, why would DC go back? Why would they go back to Zack Snyder? That doesn't make any fucking sense. So yeah, sadly, these people also didn't like the movie. They also need a hug. They also need to just grow the fuck up, honestly. But thankfully, Zack Snyder is still making movies, so I can point and laugh at them when they come out. Now, I wanted to save this part somewhat for the last, because really, this is the part of the movie I did not like. I've been glazing this movie a lot, but now I need to talk about something I just kind of don't like. So one thing I don't like in movies when they tell a story is they have characters talking to other characters as if they were talking about the certain topic for the first time. Let's say, for example, I'm a football player and I go up to my friends who I hang out with every month at the bar or whatever, and I talk to them about, guys, don't you know that I'm a football player, that I play for this team, and that I've won this many rings, and I'm the captain and all that? That would be so fucking weird. It's like, yeah, bro, we know that's the case. You don't need to explain that as if there's an audience on the other side of the wall that's listening in. And I really don't like when movies do this. And this happened a lot in this movie, where the movie kind of treats us like... And again, we are new to this universe, so I get why they're doing it. And to some degree, I can understand if it happens a small amount of times. But this movie did this more than I'm comfortable with. Like, they have to explain things as if things are being told for the very first time. It can't just be told in a way that we can pick up on. There's ways to convey relationships through conversation without making it sound like, oh, this is the first time I'm bringing it up, or I'm saying this because there's an audience listening. I really don't like this type of writing at all. And again, it kind of conflicts with the whole way this movie is even being told. It's kind of an origin story, but not really, because we have to pick up the clues as the film goes on. But the way we pick up those pieces is characters being as you can see and as you can remember, this thing happened. It's like when two people talk for the first time in a cutscene or a movie, they say, "Ah, my old friend." People don't say that. I really wish I could give an example, but I kind of can't remember, but they do this a lot. And one way to just explain it all is just Japanese. People just be yapping about stuff, and they really should just do better with conveying this information instead of just literally yapping it to us. Now, that's all I want to say about Superman, Man Super, or Woke Man. And I really did enjoy it. I don't want to say anything about the movie's plot. It's really, really, really good. There's a lot of fun moments in this film. It's really inspiring, and James Gunn did a fantastic job with this film. This is now a new start to a new universe. Let's hope. I can only hope that from here on that DC can just make some good fucking movies with superheroes. They already fucked up Joker, and Batman 2 seems like it's going to be crazy interesting because the writing script, or the script just got finished, so we'll see what happens with that movie when it comes out in 5 years. It just feels good to know that DC is actually trying. DC in of itself is such a weird fucking company with the way it treats its other franchises and IPs. So I really hope for the best for this. I will give Superman 2025, directed by James Gunn, a respectable high 8.5 out of 10. If it really wasn't for that writing part that I mentioned and the way this movie was written and told, I really would give this movie a 9. There's a lot of great moments, like I keep saying. There's even moments that got me a little emotional. Usually those get in the upper 9s, but it's just that one part that I just really didn't like. There's other parts involving the writing that I don't want to say too much about, because I really just want people to watch this movie and support it. It's really funny, it has a lot of action, and it's really inspiring. It tells a really good message that a lot of people need to fucking listen to and maybe adapt. And it's just a good comic book movie. And that's what James Gunn set out to do. And he succeeded. But yeah, that was Superman. Let me know what you guys thought about the film. Do you agree, disagree? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. But that's going to be it for me today. Up next is Fantastic Four. And my God, I don't know if this movie stands a chance, because I've been seeing some new trailers and it looks a bit rough. I don't know. We'll honestly see. Maybe it'll blow me maybe it'll blow my mind. But yeah, everyone, you have a nice one.